on your legs. If you wanted to do your entire body, it'd take about, I'd say, 30 tie points to pretty much cover the whole deal. This rifle wrap, what we've done is we've put in the string burlap, we've put in the burlap strips, and we also put in the synthetic. So this has got all the various pieces of camouflage that we talked about, except for what? Natural vegetation. Here we got Bruce, and he's got his camouflage. The only problem I see with this, some of this natural vegetation is probably sticking up and getting in the way of his line of sight. That's a pretty good camo job. We've got the camo pack on, and the last thing, of course, is we're feeding in natural vegetation in through that 3/4 netting that we got. So what you're going to do is you're not just going to stuff it through one hole, you're going to kind of lace it through if you want it to stick. Pull it through. He's blending in good. Alright, so we're putting on the sniper head and shoulder piece. And you might want to keep that open, bud. Or closed. To you.
A little bit closed.
So you can see the stuff is really hanging nice. You've got some real nice blend between the head and the shoulders. Of course, his face isn't camoed, so it's sticking out, but that's good. We can see that there's somebody in here. And what we're going to do is put some vegetation in through this British sniper veil. And this isn't going to need a lot. I mean, he's already just blending in real nice. So you can see that he's a little dark in the frame. His whole camouflage is a bit dark. But you can see how the light is playing on him right now. It's got that three-dimensional look. Areas are receiving sunlight, so they're highlighted just like natural vegetation. But also their shadows cast into the camouflage outfit, getting a darker look to it. And you can see by the dog's reaction. Yeah, Benji, what is that? What's that thing? Is that Richard? Okay, so Bruce has got the whole suit on. You can see that it's a string burlap and synthetic blend. There's areas where it might need a little coverage, but on the whole, this is pretty good. And this whole suit probably weighs about maybe 4.5 pounds. And if you take off the hood part, you can see how that hood, which is attached to the piece, kind of comes off. So if you want to take off the hood and take a gander around, you can. The whole veil does a lot of good as far as breaking up the head and the shoulder area and just creating a little mound. And this thing probably weighs maybe 8 ounces. And with all these suits, I mean, you can make them larger, you can make them a little wider. It's whatever area you want to be covering. Whatever type of job you're going to be doing. If you turn around. This netting. You can extend it a little bit, add stuff, just cover this area. Or with the other version, you can go all the way down to the back of the knees. So these suits work well. We just took them out in the field. They bushed up nice. They broke up the outline really well. The only problem that I saw with them is that they were generally a little too dark for the area that we're going to be operating in. So once again, we can add in more of these patterns so that our suit is a bit lighter. Or what we can do, and which I recommend, is getting that tan burlap. This is that raw burlap that we've taken the actual strings out of, and I'm just going to tie in burlap into the synthetic. So I find my little holes in the netting, tying through. And I'm just going to work around the suit and lighten it up a bit. Now what we should have done, and which I recommend personally that you should do, is that you should take all the materials that you're going to be using out into the bush, so that when you're actually making these suits, you're in the environment that you're actually going to be working in. And another real nice thing about working with this 3/4 inch netting is that you can change your suit. If you feel like you've put too much stuff in that's, say, too much dark stuff, you can untie it, take it out, or you can add stuff while you're in the field. And of course the terrain that you're going to be working in is going to change, and from season to season you could walk 10 miles and be in a completely different terrain. And if you're going to be sitting there for a while, or if you're going to be hunting or doing whatever, you might want to take some of the stuff out that does not work. So I'm taking out some of the darker material and putting in lighter stuff. This is your military-style ghillie suit, which we showed you how to construct in the Art of Camouflage 1. You can see that it's pretty much a flight suit. We've taken this heavy canvas material, and you can see that we shoe glued it, the whole seam. There's 2 patches here for the chest, and then here for your knee area, we have another heavy canvas patch. Also, for your arms, see we've got a heavy patch that runs along the base here, so when you're crawling, you're not destroying your elbow on any rocks. You can see the back part of it, which is pretty much just a netting that's been tied in place along the entire length of the back, and then this burlap material is tied into the actual netting. All shown in the Art of Camouflage 1. Today we're going to show you some variations to this. I've got here some needles. You're going to need a needle, and you're going to need some real heavy thread. You can use light thread, but you're going to have to use a lot of it. What we're going to want to do is make some stirrups. When you're wearing your ghillie suit and you're crawling along on the ground, your sleeves are going to have a tendency to ride up on your arm. So what you're going to do is take an elastic band, cut a nice size length, 8 inches, and you're going to sew it into the cuff of your ghillie suit. So that way when your hand is out your sleeve, you're going to have a little elastic band that's going to keep this sleeve from riding back. You have your leg of your ghillie suit. There's a possibility that your suit will ride up on you. So we're going to attach another stirrup onto the base. Foot's going to fit in there, and your boot over the foot, and that's going to keep this leg pant from riding up on you when you're crawling along in the bush. So right now I'm sewing in the stirrup. This is the leg stirrup. So once that stirrup's in place, then you put your boot on. Now if you want your pant leg to go over your boot, then you're going to want to attach your stirrup inside. You're going to want to sew up here. So if your stirrup is tied farther up onto your leg, then this material will be able to hang down farther on the boot. So here we have our flight suit. It's a used surplus. This flight suit is Nomex. It's a Nomex material so that it's fire retardant. So if you have another layer between you and that flammable burlap that doesn't catch on fire, that's kind of a good thing. There are a couple Army fellows that died because their ghillie suits caught on fire. We're going to cut out a panel from the back. We're going to cut a square of this material out, and we're going to replace it with some mosquito netting. It's going to let the heat from the body escape a bit more so that you've got a little more comfortable suit. This has a natural flap. I'm going to leave that in place since this has some nice integrity to it. So I'm going to cut my hole. Along the entire back part here.